Oh, hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to be doing a walk around of the Airbus A320 aircraft, currently using the Fenix A320 in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. And as you can see, we're in lovely sunny Gibraltar. I am a real-world airline pilot and currently fly the A320 series of aircraft around Europe. Hopefully in this video we'll be able to give you an extra insight into what we look for in the real world, and hopefully this can add to the immersion of the sim. Well, here we find ourselves in the A320 flight deck. As you can see, the screens here are on, and some of the overhead panel features are as they would be on a quick turnaround. This scenario here sort of assumes that we've just passed a crew that have been inbound to Gibraltar. They've got off, we've had a chat with them, and then made our way into the flight deck. Now in another video I'm going to go on to the ins and outs of the main scans you do from a cold and dark setup. Today purely we're just focusing on the walk around, so I'll just show you the important things that we'd want to be on. So the first thing, coming down here, making sure the ground spoilers are stowed and retracted. The parking brake is on, and that we have accumulated pressure, as you can see in the little green gauge there. Making sure the flaps here are stowed and they're at 0 and also indicated 0 here. And then coming up to the overhead panel, the nav and logo light here sometimes can be found in the off position, just making sure that's on. Most of the time it's on system 1, it can be on system 2, but we'll leave it there for now. Everything else, as I say again, in a later video I'll come on to the ins and outs. We'd consider having the APU on, but just to save your ears, we'll leave that off for now. So that's all the main stuff. I think we're ready to go have a look outside. Right, here we are, finally ready to commence the walk around. So we always start at the front left hand side of the aircraft and work our way around in a clockwise fashion. So firstly, looking here at the one of the first FO and captain static ports, just making sure that the holes here are clear and that there's no damage within the red circles. Above we have 2 angle of attack vanes, just making sure they look undamaged and as they normally would. Here we have the inlet vent for the avionics bay. On the other side we have the outlet vent. Essentially, depending on the temperature, it's an extremely clever system. So here in Gibraltar, being probably around 30 degrees in the summer, it's going to be taking in air and cooling the avionics system below the aircraft. All done autonomously. If you were in Germany in the winter and it was very cold, then you might find that these are closed. So when it is open, just basically walking past, having a brief look and just making sure that nothing's blocking it. Here, this green disc just shows that the oxygen system has pressure. If we didn't see this green disc or anything else, then we'd assume there's an issue with the cockpit oxygen. Obviously a very important aspect, and always wanting to make sure that that's working. Here we have 2 of the pitot tubes, just making sure that the area in front, the little hole, is clear, and above that another standby static port, just making sure that the area again is clear. Working our way around the front of the aircraft, just a general condition, making sure everything looks as it should. Coming along here, this here is another standby static port, just making sure the area is clear as we did from the first one. Here an assortment of probes, this and this one here being the air temperature probes, very useful by providing us with information on the air temperature around us, especially at night if we're flying in cold temperatures and in cloud, whether we can expect to be entering icing conditions and whether we'll need to be turning our engine anti-ice on, and also hinting us to look at the wings and the icing probe to see if we build up any ice. Now this cable here, if you're wondering what that is, that's just the ground external power, as we saw at the start of the video, turning it on. Pretty much always, in my experience, done by the ground crew, but they just plug it in here and that provides us ground power. I won't unplug it now as we haven't got the AP running. Then working our way to the nose wheel, just looking at the tyres here, making sure that they're in good condition, no cuts or bulges or any sort of flatness. This little light here, this just indicates that the parking brake is set upstairs, useful for the ground crew to know when doing the pushback. Although we normally communicate with them via the headset or hand signals, just basically another fail-safe to make sure they know if the brakes are set or not. Working our way up, two of the lights at the front here, just making sure that the condition is okay and to make sure there aren't any issues. I've had it before on the line where you walk around and you can see that one of the lights is broken, and that will often be a quick phone call to the engineers to come out and replace it if they can, or deferring it I should say, and flying under a MEL condition. Working our way round the back then, again just really having a look at the general condition. I really must say the detail on this Fenix A320 is very, very impressive. It really does look like the real thing. Then to the side here, this is the outlet valve I was talking about earlier for the avionics bay. You'll often find actually on a walk around it really does pump a lot of air out, and if you're already hot, especially somewhere here like Gibraltar, and you stand under that, you're in for a bit of a shock because it can be quite warm air. Here we have the other FO and captain static port. Again, as I did with the last few, just really making sure that these holes here are clear and that the general condition seems to be all okay. Here we have the main cargo door. Again, pretty much mainly always operated by the ground crew. I believe with this new update on the Fenix Sim we can actually open and close it, so let's see if we can give that a go. The flap here is actually already open, so we're just going to come here and move it to the close position, and there we go, it's closing. Now that noise you can hear there in the background, that's the yellow electric pump that basically just provides the yellow hydraulic system that allows the cargo doors to open and close. It's a very iconic noise, and you've probably heard it when you've been boarding the aircraft or sat as a passenger when the ground crew are opening or closing the doors. So we can let go of that now and then come along here and close the door, and we can close that flap now. If I can work out how to do it, and hopefully that noise will stop soon. There we go, that's very loud. Coming along here then, we get to the number 2 engine. Just wanting to make sure that the general condition looks normal. Walking around that cone there, looking at the front of the engine here at the fan blades, sometimes can give it a good spin, which again, it's amazing how Fenix have added that in and allowed you to do so. Just making sure that there's no cracks or any damage to the blades. Now, if I knew how to crouch on the sim, I would show you, but there's normally 2 little cowl flaps here, just making sure that if there's been any maintenance done, that the engine is secure below. Working our way along here, we have the fuel panel, open or closed depending on if the fuel is there. You might find if the refueler hasn't turned up yet and you've got a tight air traffic slot restriction and you're really wanting to get the turnaround fast, every small thing can help. So I'll often come in here from doing the walk around. This here is just saying the amount of fuel we want. So at the moment, saying we've got 3 tons. If we, for example, wanted 5 tons of fuel, I'd just slide that to the increase, wait until we get 5.0, which is 5,000 kilograms or 5 tons, and that's there ready to go. So when the refueler comes along, he's already got it pre-selected. Continuing on with the engine then, as I say, working along the side here, just making sure there's no oil spills. Having a look in the back and the rear of the exhaust, just again making sure that the general condition seems to be all normal, which it does. Next we walk along the wing here, looking at the leading edge, working our way around. There we can see the green right hand nav light illuminated. Looking at the wingtip fence there, that all looks to be in good condition. All the fairings are okay. Working our way to the right main undercarriage. Having a look at the tyres again, just making sure that they're in good condition. Looking at the hydraulic vanes here, just making sure that there's no cuts. We've also got the brake wear indicators, just shown by this little line here. You can see actually that the little indicator there is quite close to being within limits. This would be acceptable for a flight, but maybe worth calling the engineers on arrival to your home base just to get that looked at. Working along here then, we've got the yellow hydraulic system. This is where they top that up. Always just making sure that this is closed and that there's no leaks. Walking past the main cargo door, or sorry, I should say rear cargo door. Here we've got the outflow valve, just making sure that that's got no obstruction and is clear. Working our way along here to the stabiliser, looking at the leading edge, making sure that it all looks to be normal and that there's been no damage on the turnaround or during the flight. Coming along here again, just a general look to make sure it all seems normal. Now along here we want to see the stabiliser is in the 0 position. That's just to do with the trim, and we during the walk around want to see that at 0. Walking along again, just making sure that the general condition is all okay. Here we have the green hydraulics, or sorry, I should say blue hydraulics, and then we have the green here, just making sure that they're both closed and there's no leaks. Coming here to the left main undercarriage, again looking at the hydraulic pipes there, making sure that the brake wear indicators look all normal and that the tyres aren't cut or bulging or even underinflated. And then same thing again, just walking along the wing, making sure that it all seems to be in normal condition. Red nav lights here on the left, or port I should say. Edge again, just making sure it all looks normal. Approaching the left hand number 1 engine, again just having a look at the general condition, making sure it all looks normal and as it should. Again we'd be crouching down, looking at the cowl flaps there, and then coming to the somehow jumped over the cone there, and then again just having a look at the front of the engine here, looking at the blades, making sure that there's no issues there. And that really does conclude the walk around of the Airbus A320 aircraft. Hopefully that's provided a bit more information for your flight simulation experience, and I thank you once again for watching this video, and hope to see you again soon in the next